You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, CBS soap opera fans. This is Soap Dirt on YouTube, and we want to talk about something happening on Young and the Restless right now, and that is about Victor Newman's outrage over Sally Spectra's pregnancy. We have some predictions because we think that there's no way he's going to embrace her. He is going to want to do something about this situation now that he knows about it, and we suspect that Sally Spectra might feel some pressure from the mustache very soon. So we'll dig into that in just a second. Right now, if you haven't already subscribed, click that button below so you don't miss any updates on your favorite soap operas, CBS or otherwise, right here on Soap Dirt at YouTube. So the way we see this playing out, what's interesting is Victor Newman is mad, and this week he heard it from the horse's mouth. Adam Newman told him that Sally's pregnant with his child, and of course she's still dating Nick, but Adam also told his dad, oh, and by the way, I still love her, and Victor's just stunned. And then he has a discussion with Nick Newman, and Nick is just like, bugger off, I'm not having this conversation, leave Sally alone. And Victor is really upset. He thinks that Nick is staying with Sally to basically corral her away from Adam, just to screw Adam over. And he accuses Nick of being like Victoria and doing everything that she can to roadblock Adam being integrated back into the family scene. And Victor's not wrong about Victoria. She definitely doesn't want Adam anywhere near them, and she's been pretty horrible about it. Nick, however, he doesn't want rid of Adam, but he's definitely not as kind of a pushy big brother above taking Adam's favorite toy, and we know that Adam's favorite toy is Sally Spectra. And Nick hasn't told her he loved her. He doesn't seem that serious about her. Like, he seems very unwilling to give her up, but is that about how he feels about her? Or is it because he likes kids and she's pregnant? Or is it just about doing Adam over? Or maybe it's just a potpourri. Maybe it's a mix of all of that. But definitely, now that Victor knows, he is not going to sit still for this. And so he asks Nikki Newman about it. And then Nikki admits, oh yeah, I've known for a while. I found out from Summer Newman. So now Victor knows, Victoria knew, of course Adam and Nick knew, Summer knew, Nikki knew, Victoria knew, and nobody told him. And so he's not happy. And Nikki did say that she didn't want to raise awareness of it while Sally was in her first trimester, because that's, the most dangerous time, and she didn't want to create stress for her. But now she's in her second trimester. What I see is that, personally, just prediction from Soap Dirt, this is not an official CBS spoiler, that Victor is going to try to find a way to work this out the way that he thinks it should go. And the bottom line is, he really doesn't want Sally Spectra around. But the problem is, she's got a Newman in her belly. So we kind of have three scenarios we'd like to discuss. Number one is, and this would be the best thing for Victor, it would be ideal, because he can't do anything about the pregnancy. It's done. If he had known earlier, he might have tried something more drastic. So it's a good thing he didn't know. But ideal scenario for him, the number one scenario would be for the Newmans to keep the baby and Sally Spectra to hit the road. Could he make that happen? Maybe. If in his dark, twisted mind, we all know how Victor is, maybe he thinks he could offer Sally a few $1 million to go away and leave the baby with Adam and just take a hike. And he called her a carny this week. He has the lowest opinion of her. So he may think that she would be quite bribable and would willingly take the money and go away. However, Victor doesn't know Sally, and Sally is stubborn and she is opportunistic, but when it comes to this baby, she knows she has a solid team behind her. She's got Adam as a committed co-parent, and she's got Nick right now in her pocket too. So I don't think she's going to take a bribe. I literally don't think Victor could write a big enough check to get Sally to give him that baby Either leave it with Adam, leave it with him and Nikki, and leave town. But ideally, for Victor Newman, that would be the best outcome on Young and the Restless. So scenario number 2 is that she sticks around, but she's not involved with either of his sons romantically. So if he cannot keep the kid and run Sally off, the next best thing for him would be to have control of the situation. And so ideally, that would mean that Adam is not seeing Sally, Nick is not seeing Sally, Sally has the baby, Adam gets a lot of time with the kid, the rest of the Newmans get a lot of time with the kid, but she is not romantically involved with either of his sons. It would probably be Victor's worst nightmare if she became Sally Spectra Newman because one or both of his sons proposed. Of course, remember, Adam Newman has proposed to her twice now, and it hasn't worked out because he pulled that stunt with dumping her to try and save her job at Newman Media. But with the baby on the way, if Nick is feeling more threatened by Adam, maybe he'd propose. He just doesn't seem to be falling for her. He seems to like being in her bed and spending time with her, but me personally, watching this, I am not seeing the starry-eyed Nick that we see when he has been with Chelsea or very particularly with Sharon. So I don't know. So that's the second scenario. So the third scenario, if Victor cannot keep the kid and get rid of her, if he can't get the boys to back away from her or get her to back away from the boys, even if she stays in town, the next best thing for Victor in his mind would be to run Sally out of town with the kid in her arms. While the kid is a Newman and he would definitely want the Newman with them, he may not want to deal with Sally and may think losing that grandkid is the next best thing because it's better than losing both of his sons to her. So that sounds awful, but it also, to me, sounds very Victor. I don't think in any way, shape, or form that Victor Newman is going to celebrate this pregnancy. I'm sure he will acknowledge it, and I'm expecting in the next couple of weeks, perhaps for May sweeps, for Victor to come at Sally with his checkbook, with some threats, with some admonishments, and I expect when he does that he is going to get some serious backlash from both Nick and Adam. If you have not subscribed already, please reach down there and click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the latest CBS soap videos from us right here on YouTube. So what do you think is going to happen? I think Victor is going to act out. He wants Adam back in the family, and he just got Tucker's business, and he was planning to hand it to him, but then Adam has just told him that he's in love with Sally, and that's a problem. But Victor still wants him back in the family because he was just chewing Nick out for acting like Victoria and trying to keep him out of the family. But this baby could be a breaking point where Victor alienates Nick and Adam both. They clearly both care about Sally. Only Adam, I believe, loves her, but I do think they're both attached by the idea of this kid she's carrying. And of course, you'll remember that Nick is already raising one of Adam's biological children, and that's Christian Newman that Adam had with Sage. They had a one-night thing, and improbably the child was his. But, you know, that's a whole messy backstory, and Nick has the kid, and Adam's not going to go that route again. But if he's still with Sally, he's going to be entrenched in playing sort of a pseudo-stepdad to this kid. So it's all very entangled, and Victor Newman is going to do everything he can to cut ties and manage Sally and hopefully get her out of town. That's what we think is going to happen.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.